Hi ladies, welcome to the judging day for task 2 of Miss Universe Nepal 2020. We're done with task 1 and we saw how comfortable you all were in your skin, looked amazingly beautiful, sexy at the same time. But today is the day where we will be judging you according to your speaking skills and your ability and how beautiful your minds are. So to judge you all today, we have two esteemed and very beautiful and dynamic ladies with us. We have stand-up comedian and ventriloquist, Mrs. Seema Golchha with us. Let's welcome her.
Hi everyone, good afternoon.
Hi. Hello ma'am. Good afternoon ma'am.
Good afternoon ma'am. Good afternoon.
So I'm here actually as a president of Everest Toastmasters Club. So what you hear from me will not be comedy, this will be more of a feedback session. And all the best to everyone.
I wish we could hear you do some stand-up comedy for us here, but
maybe at the end of the session,
if
I could do a 5-minute gig or something. I don't know. Let me know.
Oh, that would be great.
And next, our judge, we have Teach for Nepal's co-founder, Swastika Shrestha. Welcome.
Hello everyone. Not very exciting as Seema ji, no comedies. Can't even pronounce ventriloquist. I almost did that. But yeah, really excited. It's been a really sort of amazing morning listening to everyone. And it does feel like I can't get enough of this. So really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say and knowing about your passion. So yeah, looking forward to it. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
One more time, thank you to both of our judges. And I must say, your task, your session, it's not just about judging, but we're telling our story, we're opening up, and it's been so beautiful so far. And I wish you all the best, each one of you. I hope this session will be equally fun and interesting like others. And to reveal the mechanics of judging to all our contestants in this preliminary competition, judges will use the opportunity to consider your personality and overall presence. In this round, you will be tested on your speaking skills and ability. The judges are not looking for rehearsed answers, so make sure that you're more natural and more yourself. You will need to pick a topic that you're really passionate about, and you'll have to speak very confidently, focusing on the content that you are speaking. And lastly, 1 minute to impress your judges. So, are you all ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, without further ado, let's start with the first video. And from batch 4, the first contestant is contestant number 1065, Roshni Khatri. And rest, I will see you all one by one in a bit.
Okay, give me a second. Who's in here that it's not supposed to be? Yep, I think we got it. Great.
All right. We have our first contestant of batch 4, contestant number 1065, Roshni Khatri. Hi Roshni, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you, Dee?
I've been well. So we're going to show your video, your advocacy, what you have to say. But before that, anything that you would want to highlight on?
The topic I had chosen today is about education, and I have been very much involved with it personally. It's not something that I have said because I want to say, but it's actually involved with me. I've been working with an INGO since last 3 years, and that's what I've actually tried to explain in the video itself.
All right, now let's have a look at your video. I think there is a sound error. Can we do it again?
If you ask me who I am, then I'm the working class average Nepalese woman wearing several hats every day. The hat of the creative head at my office to get myself bread and butter and pay out of my own pocket. And I'm the symbol of the wrinkles my parents have for all the hard-earned money they chose to invest in my education so that I have a career now. When women get in the workforce and speak where decisions are being made, then they can solidify the structure of our society, and that's how glass ceilings get shattered. They could be Kamala Harris brave, Nagma Shrestha bold, or even Roshni Khatri beautiful with lots of cellulites and self-love. For me, Miss Universe is the work off of the hills, out of the silk gowns, and more about persuading girls to become leaders. My advocacy is to establish a network, run projects to mentor girls who look at us every day and tell themselves that they can have a voice. I long to build a Nepal where we don't have one great, bold, beautiful organization, but thousands of other initiatives run by women itself. Namaste.
Very powerful message. But Roshni looked like you were rushing it a bit. But
Yes,
but 1 minute, it's quite a task in itself, right?
yes, it was. It was.
All right, let's hear from our judges. Let's start with Seema ji.
Hi, Roshni.
Hi, Shivaji. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Absolutely great.
So, you are such a natural speaker. It just looked effortless. What you spoke today,
Thank you.
the
Thank you.
recording, it didn't look like as if it was being recorded. You had the body language. You had all the ingredients that it takes to be a good speaker. You started
Thank you so
with a
much.
very powerful topic, education, not just because you believe in it, but you are already doing something about it in this field since the last 3 years. So obviously,
Yes.
it was more credible that you spoke about this topic. Yes, like Subeksha said, it was a little rushed. 1 minute, I agree, is not enough, especially something that you're so passionate about and you just told. So I guess because education is such a vast topic, you could have just spoken a little more specific, a little more about yourself in it, because I know you're trying to include everything, and in that attempt, you're forgetting your main point that you're trying to make here. Okay, you believe in education, that is something we all believe in, right? And you're working towards it, but there has to be one specific point and topic you could have spoken about and emphasized more on that. That's what makes a good speaker, to make a compact or like a powerful 1 minute speech. But other than that, I think you, as a speaker, you're fantastic. You had everything and all the elements that a good speaker needs to have. And congratulations and all the best, Roshni.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Over to you, Swastika ji.
Hi, Roshni. I think that was beautiful. I think there's, like Seema, you said, it's very like natural, but I know it wasn't just you speaking whatever came into your mind. I mean, I clearly see that you've drafted it, you've redrafted it, you've talked about, you know, what it was the first thing that you're going to say. And, people work hard and to build, you know, because this public speaking is a craft, it is art, you know, you really have to craft it, and you really have to sort of think, what am I going to say first, what am I going to say in the middle, how am I going to end, what's going to be my punchline, where do I bring in my own story, where do I bring in the larger context, you know, that I'm trying to address. So I think the hard work is really clear, and I think I just love when I see young people work hard, because there's no other way. You know, I don't believe in this natural talent. नेपालमा भन्ने talent छ नि एउटा के भन्छ उ बच्चै बेलादेखि talent भन्छ नि, like you were just born with that talent. I don't believe in that. Like, people work hard to build their craft and really get good at something. So I think that hard work was really there. I just loved how you speak fast, because that's what I do sometimes when the time is really short. I'm like I also speak really fast when I was short span of time. One thing is, you know, you have worked in education for 3 years. That's been my life, you know, for 7-8 years. With Teach for Nepal, we've been, you know, around education. The minute you talk about middle class, I can relate to it. I understand the context that you're talking about, but not everybody will. You know what I mean? So it's like, the middle class to me is it's a library, right? Like, I understand the context of it. I know that without education, I wouldn't have made it. A lot of middle class families, that's their only way out. And I think, you know, for us who have worked, and there were certain inferences, okay, because I could see there is depth of knowledge and there's depth of experience. But when you're talking to audience who might not have the same level of experience, they might not be able to make a quick sort of like relate to it as quickly as somebody who's been in education can. And it's just, sometimes you might have to explicitly say that, you know, I wouldn't have made it otherwise, or why was education so important? And I think in the topic you also bring in the issue of like a girl child, right? Like what's possible for girls and how important education is. So you might even want to focus on why it's so important to educate girls. So I felt like it started with a little bit of like education, how important it is for a middle class, and then sort of second half of the speech going into how education is very important for women to go on breaking the ceilings, you know?
That what we do is we try so much to go by the books of a speech. You know, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to say, this is how you're supposed to end it, that you forget yourself in the speech. So just try and be more yourself, be natural, and it'll be a great speech. I enjoyed, again, another suggestion is she was sitting on the edge of the sofa, which could have been avoided. She could have just stood up and loosened up and spoken like she'd be more at ease if she did that. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much to both of our judges. And let's move on to our next contestant, contestant number 1070, Manjuri Singh.
Oh, sorry. Sudeshna is the one after RIZBI. 1068.
Oh, all right. All right. Let's move on to our next contestant, contestant number 1068, Sudeshna Maharjan. Hi, Sudeshna.
Hello, ma'am.
Ready to show your video to our judges?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything you would like to add to it?
Actually, I shared my personal story and I never really speak about it much. So I'm quite nervous and I'm looking forward for your positive feedback and your response. So yeah.
Okay. Let's have a look at Sudeshna's video.
Namaste, I'm Sudeshna, 21 years old, and this is my story about 13 years ago. It was at my sister's wedding, so everyone was busy, and I was sleeping alone in her room. I woke up from a deep sleep when I felt his disgusting hand over me, touching my shoulders and my ungrown breast. I was so scared when he started to undress me. I tried to shout, but I couldn't. He threatened me to shut my mouth. That was the very first time I was sexually abused. That incident haunted me for years. I was depressed. It took a long way to get here where I am today. I realized that there are many of us who have been sexually abused by people, but I am here to tell you that we are not victims, we are fighters, and it's not our fault. If you don't act now, the next girl could be you or someone you know. So stand up, speak up, and raise voice against sexual abuse. Thank you.
Firstly, Sudeshna, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of effort to bring topics like these. And thank you for making it so vocal and standing up against what you've been through, and also inspiring others to speak up for what's
It took a lot. Actually, it took a lot to speak like this because I never really spoke much about this. I only shared with my mom and few of my friends, and the shocking part is when I shared with my friends and they replied back that they have been some situation like this too. So हुन्छ नि नेपालमा चाहिँ धेरै हुँदो रहेछ कि यो सेक्सुअली अब्युज र सेक्सुअल हरासमेन्ट चाहिँ अनि या द्याट्स
पहिला पहिला चाहिँ कुरा नै हुँदैन थियो आजकल मान्छेहरूले कुरा गर्न थालिसक्यो त्यही भएर चाहिँ धेरै हुँदो रहेछ है भनेर थाहा भइरहेको छ किनभने पहिला त हामी त चुप लाग्थ्यो नि त भन्नु हुँदैन भन्ने एउटा वातावरण क्रिएट गरिएको थियो परिवारमा पनि इन्भाइरोमेन्ट सबै सोसाइटीमा पनि बट glad that we're speaking about it and we're vocal about it and we're standing against it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Seema ji, let's start with you.
Hello, Sudeshna.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, being so vulnerable, not just in front of us, but in front of the world.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
To be able to put yourself out there and speak up and stand up. So you're doing what you're preaching.
Yes.
You spoke up and you are, and this is the first step towards healing, to be able to talk about it.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that people are aware of it, and it's okay to talk about it, and it's okay to take action against it, even though if it may be somebody really close to you, your family, but it is important to speak up. So thank you for being vulnerable. It shows being vulnerable is one of the biggest ways of showing strength, and that makes you a very strong person. So thank you. I really liked your speech. You started obviously with your personal story, something very very emotional, and you are a good storyteller. You started from there, and you are not just telling everybody, you're telling yourself that it was not your fault.
Yeah, it's not our fault to go through that. Yeah.
Exactly. So which everybody should know, because a lot of girls are still scared out there and unable to able to speak their hearts out, because what will the people say, or what will half the time it's us as parents, we shut them off, like don't say it, we don't talk about it because it's somebody so elderly or somebody so known that you just, which is wrong on our part. So yes, it's important to speak up, and thank you for sharing your
Mm.
journey. And I like the way you started with a personal note and you ended with a plan of action, that you're talking about it, and in 1 minute you said so much. So yeah, all in all, a great speech. Thank you, Sudeshna.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Swastika ji?
Hi, Sudeshna. Again,
Hello,
thank you
ma'am.
for sharing your personal story with us. It is really sad, right? Like as children, we think that the world is the safe place and everybody will love us and protect us. And then we realize one day that no, the world is not safe. We cannot trust everyone. And that's just heartbreaking, right? Like how a child has to grow up to believe that the world is not a safe place, and what a sad tragedy, and that we can't create that kind of space where children feel safe. So it's really hard, just listening to that story, and I can feel what you might have gone through it, and the process of healing, something that's going to take time. So thank you for bringing that up, and I can completely empathize with that, and definitely this wasn't fault, this isn't the fault of, nobody deserved it. This shouldn't have happened. I think in your speech, I think as somebody who's lived that reality, as somebody who's on that path of healing, you have that great potential to now speak up for others, and make sure that this doesn't happen. In your particular speech, I think it's powerful. I think one thing I would add is the recognition that other people also have a role to play to make sure that the world is safe for children. And I think that is something I missed. I think could have made your speech really powerful. The way you're advocating for this really powerful is by recognizing that sometimes victims can't, they just cannot just step up and speak about it. It's too
Yes,
personal.
because it took a long time to speak about it. In my case as well, मैले नि मेरो mom-लाई चाहिँ like 3 years पछाडि मात्र भनेको के, like, and she said, why didn't you tell me earlier? हुन्छ नि, it took a lot of time to speak about it, and yeah.
And I think there is a fair amount of educating that needs to happen on the victims, but even for parents to be aware, right? Like to think about the different signs, to think about whether your children have become a little withdrawn, to make sure that parents are not taking that safety for granted, to check in with their children. So all I'm saying is, I think there's so much that needs to happen to make sure that every child is safe, um, and not to just put the responsibility on somebody who's been through that experience, but to really, really call out to all other people who need to take action and make sure that the world stays a safe place for children, girls and boys alike, that it's safe for them. So I think we need to make sure that there are more allies into this. You are the protagonist, right? Because you've been through that. You are the main character of your story. but you're going to need allies to sort of make sure that they work with you to make sure that this is a safe place. And I think calling out for that allies is what was a little bit missing, I think, in your speech, in the whole advocacy of it. So I think just to recognize that it takes more than just somebody who's been through that to speak for it. Okay? The whole world has to support this person to heal and to, you know, to fix things and to make sure that it's safe. So yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sudeshna.
Thank you.
And we wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
We will see you in a while.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
All right, next we have contestant number 1070, Manjuri Singh. Hi, Manjuri, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I've been well. So you're ready? You're confident about your video today?
Yes, I'm pretty confident about my video.
Anything you'd like to add to it?
So, first of all, I'm very excited about task 2, and I am talking about something that I'm passionate about in this video. So I am very much looking forward towards the feedback that I get.
All right. So let's have a look at Manjuri's video.
Challenging yourself to do better every day with perseverance and diligence is very important in life. And for me, sports is the answer. Yes, I am an athlete and I encourage every one of you to love sports as well. What is there not to love about sports? Sports teaches you diligence, patience, discipline, and it's not just limited to that. It also helps to boost your confidence and believe in yourself. On the bonus side, it helps you to keep active and maintains a healthy mind. A healthy body is a healthy mind, right? Personally, for me, I started loving sports at a young age of 10. At that time, it was just a 100-meter race. I just had the thrill of winning it. But over time, it transcended into a beautiful journey. And nowadays, when I go to the basketball court or track and field, all I know is that I give in my 100%, and whether I win or lose, I keep my calm.
Very nice. Very well spoken, Manjuri. There are a few things I'm sure our judges will let you know about it. Let's hear from Swastika ji.
Hi, Manzari. I love running. I was an athlete when I was in school and then kind of just like lost it, but I just love the sensation of running. Sunny, right? The
Yes, I can
whole
feel you.
energy of it, the wind of it, the I miss it. I'm trying to get back on running, but definitely I think, you know, just I loved how you connected sports, not just with sports, but with, you know, the value of diligence, to, you know, working hard, to sort of like not making it about winning, but just the process of it, just persevering through it, and learning to that discipline, to learning to deal with disappointments. You know, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. So I think I loved how you connected sports with these different values. I would have loved to hear a little more about you maybe, and why sports, and um, you know, what would you be without sports, or something like that. I felt like a little bit of depth, you know, into your own sort of like life, into your own insights. I mean, or connecting it with life. How is, you know, sports and life, and how with sports you've been able to look at life very differently. So I felt a little bit of this connection to your deeper self, or connection to sort of life, sort of a little bit missing. I think it was just nice to just hear you, and you were very calm, and the way you presented everything was really nice. But it was, I felt like there could have been a bang, that I missed a little bit. But I think it was just nice to hear you speak, and your sort of enthusiasm for sports, and connecting it with different human values and human sort of like soft skills, and that you actually are essential. So love that. So thank you. Keep running.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swastika ji. Let's move on to Seema Golchha.
Hi, Manjuri.
Hello, how are you?
I'm just glued to your smile. Your entire speech, you had this beautiful smile, and your passion came across through that smile. When you spoke about sports, something you're passionate about, and it showed. Your eyes lit up when you spoke about it. And you started with how challenging times you started, I think, and then you went on with your personal story about how when you were 10 you won 100 meters, and that was just the beginning, how you got addicted to running, and then you went on to be at basketball court. Or so you kind of briefly told us about what are the sports you do. You're an athlete, and you play basketball. Again, sports is such a vast topic, so if you just stuck to 100 meters maybe, it would have been more impactful. And that one topic, because 1 minute is too little a time to be able to speak on. And you also had a very powerful ending that whether you win or you lose, you keep your calm. And you did that. You're doing that right now also. You kept your calm all through the speech. And I hope this attitude, take this attitude even in this pageant. So all the best and congratulations. It was wonderful to hear.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Seema ji.
Thank you so much to both our judges, and very well presented, Manjuri. Keep that smile glowing, and I will see you in a while.
Thank you so much. See you.
See you. Now, moving forward, we have contestant number 1071, JYOTSNA SIMKHADA. JYOTSNA, are you there? Hi.
Namaste, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Namaste. के भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ भिडियो सुरुवात गर्न अगाडि?
Yes, I would like to explain my interest of meditation. I have been doing meditation since a lot of years back. So
ज्योत्सनाको चाहिँ भिडियो अलि अड्किरहेको जस्तो छ. I think your internet connection is
can you hear me?
Little weak.
Is it okay today? Is it okay now?
ज्योत्सना चाहिँ अलि स्टेबल भएन. कुनै ठाउँमा बसेर मोबाइल राख्नु भयो भने चाहिँ इन्टरनेट पनि हुन्छ कि अलिकति इन्टरनेट वीक भइरहेको जस्तो छ.
I'm sitting. अहिले सुन्नुहुन्छ? Can you hear me now?
Better.
Okay. So मैले चाहिँ मेडिटेसनको बारेमा चाहिँ धेरै नै पहिला थाहा पाएको थिएँ, like 10 years अगाडि. I had a misconception that meditation चाहिँ अलिकति old age भएपछि सुरु गर्ने होला जस्तो लागेको थियो. But when I went deeper about this, when I studied more about this and started doing meditation, it brought a stable inside me, a peaceful something, peace and all. Inside, I was stable in all.
Okay. Looks like JYOTSNA's video.
Isolated. So mental heat and financial work. We got a lot of news that so many people did suicide even when they are rich and when they are famous and all. So I really feel like an important topic to discuss about. So my topic is meditation in COVID time. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'm really looking forward to look at your video. Let's have a look.
Namaste, my name is JYOTSNA SIMKHADA, contestant number 1071, and today I would like to talk about importance of meditation. We are facing a difficult time, the epidemic of COVID-19, and along with the death of millions of people, we have been facing mental problems like depression, anxiety, and also the social problems like sexual harassment, crimes, and so many other things. And in this situation, I feel like meditation is a way out for it. Meditation can help people become more relaxed, and even when they are in isolation, they can become happy going inside their self. And so in this time of isolation, and when they are physically distanced from each other, meditation can become a blessing in a disguise. And I also strongly feel like becoming mentally fit is a very important thing other than financial stability and physical fitness. Thank you.
I really like the topic that you've chosen, Jyotsna, meditation. I personally also really like the idea of meditating and looking into deep within yourself. And it's wonderful that you're talking about it and you're aware about it. So let's hear
Thank
from
you.
our judges what they have to say about your video. Seema ji.
Hi, Jyotsna.
Hello, ma'am. Namaste.
Namaste. What a beautiful topic and what a beautiful speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm just amazed at the fact that at this young age, if people are talking about meditation, and it's so important because in this your generation, there are a lot of cases that a lot of children are going through anxiety issues and mental health issues. So it is important to calm yourself down, to look within yourself and get the calm. So again, great topic. Thank you so much. You started off really well, and your speech was really good. Where you could improve, how you could make the speech more impactful, I would say one, you wasted time because it's 1 minute. You don't want to waste time by saying my name is this and I am going to talk about this, because you know that is something we will know through your speech anyway. So that time was wasted. Secondly, if you're talking about meditation, you could have just given us one quick demo or something which we could do. Just one deep breath, inhale and exhale. If whatever that is, you know, however you do it, just make us do it. That makes it interactive and it makes it more powerful. And I believe in you even more that yes, meditation is more important. But other than that, also you had great eye contact. So I like that. Except for sometimes you were looking down as if you're going to read, you're reading something. That could have been avoided. But all in all, great topic, great speech, and congratulations. Thank you for reminding us to meditate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Seema ji. Swastika ji, what do you have to say about Jyotsna's advice?
No, I have something to say about Subeksha. It's very well constructed. I like the idea of meditation. It's like, I am not meditating, but I like the idea of it. So it's like, I know it's not meditating. But again, thank you, Jyotsna. I think this is, again, a really, really important topic. I know. And I think I just love the fact that you meditate, and I totally agree that this is something that has to start early. You know, once you're old, you can't even sit with your legs folded. I know, for your body is hurting there, so it has to start early. And it's when I started meditation, and actually when I took like refuge as a Buddhist, my parents were just crying, and they were like, no, this is not an age where you actually go into your spiritual life and meditation. You do it when you're old. So I look at them and be like, you're old, why don't you do it? And they're like, no, it's better you do it. So it's like, we always make this excuse to not do it. And it's so important to, like you said, look inside ourselves and then be content with ourselves. And you're right to make this association between all the sort of like mental trauma and the distress that people went through during times of isolation, because we are not used to sitting with ourselves and looking inside. It's the scariest thing to do, to sit
Yes,
with
ma'am.
yourself
Yeah.
and to look inside. There's nothing more serious than that. I mean, scary than that. So
Yeah.
definitely it's a really big topic. It is hard to talk about it, but just now, the say you've took this topic, it's one thing to meditate and another thing to actually talk about it and the meaning of it. So I missed a little bit of that, a depth of understanding to how meditation then connects with looking inside yourself, to how it connects with all kind of traumas and depression and anxiety that we're going through in times of COVID. So I missed a little bit on and the depth of understanding as to how meditation then sort of uplifts you or why it is important for you, and I agree with Seemaji, a little more focus on the core, the meditation of it, the technique of it, and how that has helped you or transformed you or something like that. That focusing your 1 minute around that would have been more helpful than just talking about COVID in general and what's happening. We all know we've been through that, dealing with that really quickly and then moving and talking more about meditation in depth and the idea of looking inside yourself, being with yourself, and why that's important and how you can do it, or something along the lines, I think would have made it very deeply meaningful for all of us. So, but thank you for trying and keep meditating. I think there's a little bit of radiance that probably is due to that meditation, and I can see your calmness. And it's very typical of people who meditate, and they've got this like calmness about them. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, JYOTSNA. We will see you in a while.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Sweet coincidence. I've recently signed up for one. I am gonna go for a yoga session soon. All right, moving forward, we have contestant number 1074, BIVIYA Shrestha. Hello, BIVIYA.
Hi, how are you? Hope you're all doing well today.
We're doing fantastic. Thank you. That you would like to say?
Sorry?
Before we start your video, would you like to say something?
Oh, I'll just talk about the topic, how I got to it. Well, before we got the task, at first I was kind of lost on what to talk about. But after I decided what to talk about, I was in dilemma because I had so many things that I was passionate to talk about. But at the end, instead of going deeply on any topic, I rather talked about happiness of yourself. And that's how I got to the topic. So I tried to do my best and fit what I could in a minute. So I hope the message is delivered well.
All right. Now let's directly dive into the video.
Sure.
Self-love. What is self-love? Is it buying that shoes that you've been wanting to buy? Or treating yourself to the dessert that you've been wanting to eat? It could be, but most importantly, it is about respecting and having high regards to your well-being and happiness. In the current era that we live in, self-love has become so important as 1 in 4 people will suffer from mental health problems, and that is a major issue. With high expectation presented to us by society, we tend to focus on pleasing them and forgetting about our own priorities. Especially in the situation where we have hard time saying no to others, we need to consider ourselves and make sure we are not saying no to ourselves. Self-love starts with kindness. Rather than looking down on ourselves, we should look at our struggles and understand why it is so difficult and learn to honor and respect ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, you are your priority. Love yourself and remember, your life needs your attention and that's okay. Thank you.
It's so wonderful to see our participants so aware about self-love, self-care, meditation, going inwards, and it's fantastic to hear you all speak about it so well. Let's hear from our judges. Swastika ji.
Hi, BIVIYA. You look like somebody who really loves yourself. And like Subeksha was saying, I think, I'm so proud of this young generation because I think when we were your age, like, we didn't know none of these things. Just like, so I'm just loving how introspective this whole new generation is and how aware and really talking about very important issues, and so thank you for bringing that up. Definitely I've spent a lot, and I mean it's really interesting because it's not just related to mental health but all of us, it's very rare to find people who really love themselves, okay? And it doesn't have to get into an extreme form of mental health issue or some social dysfunction. Sometimes it's just hard. It's hard to love yourself because you grow up with so many messages of people telling you're not good enough, that was wrong, you're bad, and it takes a lot of time to then come out of this sort of like nurturing that you've had for so long. So really loved the topic that you brought. Definitely something that all people need to sort of think about and hear more of. I would have loved a little more examples rather than just, there was just a lot of like, love yourself and be kind to yourself, and so there was these big words, but how do you break it down? What does that actually mean? Does it mean just looking at your mirror and going, oh my God, that's a pretty face? Does it mean, yeah, does it mean like, really just taking that time to do nothing and just sitting with yourself? Does that mean never stopping you from things that you want to pursue? So little more example of what does that actually mean in action? What does it look like in action, right? So there was a lot of heavy words, but I missed the images of what does self-care and self-love actually look like. Okay, so I think a little more example would have really, really made that speech even more come alive and become very visual. So thank you for reminding everyone to love ourselves a little more.
Seema ji.
Hi, Bivya.
Hello.
Thank you so much for this lovely topic. I really like it.
Thank you.
Because I have started loving myself. It's been a long time. It took me some time because I realized that it's not possible to please everyone. So might as well just please the one person you can, yourself.
Exactly.
Yes. So lovely topic. I really liked your speech, the construction of your speech. The way you started was with the question, what is self-love? And then you kind of gave us the answer. Was it buying a good pair of shoes or bags, or what is it exactly? So basically it's about being kind to yourself, and that was amazing, and how you moved the story. And then at the end you told us that your life needs your attention, which is true. Because quite often I realize we tend to be really hard on ourselves. We need the validation of others, especially in this day and age of social media, and where you're just counting your likes, and the number of likes will make you like yourself. That is not done. So that is why it's very important to just like yourself and don't bother about the number of likes you get in your social medias or the comments and all that. Irrespective of that, just love yourself. Yes. What could have made your speech better is, why are you talking about it? Like, what happened? Just one incident or something that changed your view towards this. Why this topic, and how? How can we do this? Just like being by yourself, or reading a book, or doing what you love. Just simple examples. So if I would have known a why and a how, it would have been an even better speech. I do understand it's a 1 minute speech, but just remove the things that you don't need to, which is not you. Speak something about yourself. Then it'll be far more impactful. But all in all, a great speech. Thank you so much, Bivya. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bivya. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Now, moving forward, we have contestant number 1075, Suyogya Pun. Hello, Suyogya.
Hello.
Anything that you'd like to say before we start the video?
I would just say that I question a lot, and the topic I chose, I shared my opinion after asking a lot of questions and then coming to my conclusions. So if my speech could like create even a tiny bit of change, I would say mission accomplished.
I'm excited to hear you. Let's have a look at your video.
It is both sad and disheartening to know that rape is increasing day by day, despite living in a country led by a female president and Muluki Criminal Code with Section 41 and 219. While we are still blaming our criminal justice system, we have been an active participant in fueling this rape culture. Whenever survivors have taken courage to speak up, we have assassinated their character. We have gaslighted them from speaking in the name of honor and respect in the society. We have ignored their right to privacy in our social media handles. We need to understand that creating an environment
where survivors can rehabilitate and build their confidence back is the biggest justice we can do as a society. So today, as an empowered woman, I am ready to question the credibility of our perception, to dig out the consequences of our perception, and to correct it.
Definitely, we are the change makers. So with that speech, let's hear what our judges have to say. Swastika ji.
I think that's mission accomplished there, no?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I just, again, I think what was beautiful about the speech was you weren't just talking about rape or sexual harassment. You were just very specific about how we perceive the victims. And I think it's so important in a speech, especially when it's 1 minute, to really, really narrow your focus and talk about, a very specific agenda and with how are we perceiving the victims, those are survivors of those incidents, sort of like, how are we perceiving it? How are we judging them? How are we stopping them from speaking up or seeking justice? And how do their harassment actually continue in public post the incident itself? Right? So I think I really loved how focused you were. It really reflected that you've thought a lot about it, questioned a lot about it to find one thing that's important to talk about. I love the passion with which you spoke. I think that voice had a lot of conviction, and the words were powerful. At the same time, the voice was powerful enough to kind of keep everybody awake and be like, hey, listen, I've got something important to say. So I think I really loved it. I think ending could have been a little stronger in terms of just like, then what do we need to do? It's just making it a little more specific. Would have loved that ending to have that. But apart from that, I think very important topic, very specific, and well delivered. So thank you.
Seema ji.
Thank you.
Hello, Suyogya.
Hi.
Hi, what a powerful speaker, my God. From the moment you started, that one full minute you had everything that a good speaker needs. You had body language, you had vocal variety, you had conviction, you had action, you had facial expressions, which kind of added to what you were trying to tell us. It just made it more impactful and more powerful. So you already are a good speaker. I don't see much places where you can improve. You chose a very sensitive topic, something that we just listen to it on the news and then switch the channel when it comes on the news. So yes, we need to address it, we need to talk about it, and we have to be the change that we need to see. So all that is, and you also took it upon you that you are there to correct it, right? We will not be fueling this rape culture anymore. So you had everything, all the elements, everything that a good speaker, a good powerful speech needed. Just where you could improve is, again, like have some kind of maybe you could have had a plan of action or something. Okay, you're ready to do it, but how do you plan to do it? Again, I understand it's 1 minute, but just talking about it, we know what is happening, we're seeing it. I agree with you, and we already knew about this, but it's just that now what, right? So if that could have been added, it would just make it a great speech. And but fantastic effort, and all in all, I enjoyed. So thank you so much, Suyogya. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dikta. And we wish you all the best. See you in a while.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Now, next we have contestant number 1077, PRATISHTHA Raut.
We have to go to DIKTA first. Just now was SUYOGYA.
Oh, it is not DIKTA?
No.
I'm so sorry. All right. Did I say DIKTA to her?
Yes, towards the end.
Yeah, I think I did. All right. Good job, SUYOGYA. I will see you in a while. Next, we have contestant number 1076, DIKTA THAPA. Hi, DIKTA.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, judges.
So before we begin, would you like to say something about your video?
Yeah, actually, choosing the topic was really difficult because such a great platform and so many important topics to talk about. But being a doctor, like my passion for health comes naturally to me. So today I've chosen women's reproductive health. It is something we kind of ignore it until and unless like something comes up with us or anyone we know. So like previously for women, there were, limitations. They could not decide on their reproduction. There was so much of pressure and so much of, expectation from family, from their partner, and even society. But now time is changing and we kind of have a voice. We kind of have a right to decide on our reproduction. But having said that, again, our health and our reproductive health does not remain same throughout our life. So we need to know all the advantages and disadvantages regarding early or late conceiving and how we can decide on our health. So it is all about that. I hope you will like it.
All right, let's have a look at the video.
Women's reproductive health. Today, we women are empowered, and thus we are more career oriented. We tend to marry late and decide to conceive once we feel we are ready for commitment. But think about it, are we doing justice to our own reproductive health? Fertility in women decreases with increasing age, and there will be higher risk for miscarriage and also other diseases like gestational diabetes and blood pressure. However, there are a handful of advantages to late birth. Moms in their 30s are reported to have better health and higher fitness, and perhaps they will be financially secured and experienced by then. What I want to convey is, yes, prioritizing women's career is important, but do you know what else is equally important? Her reproductive health and health of her baby. A woman should be allowed to make informed decisions regarding her reproduction. And why not? It's her body after all.
Very important and a very informative video, Dikta. Thank you for bringing this topic out there. Let's hear from our judges. Seema ji.
Yes. Hi, Dikta.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you so much. What a nice topic and something you are working for. You're already a doctor, and obviously, what you spoke about added to what you do. So, all in all, it was a great speech. I really liked it about how women need to be allowed to take decisions of their reproductive health, which is something which is just taken for granted, especially in rural part of our world. It's just something that people decide for you, and you don't have a say in it, whether you're suffering or not. So, what a beautiful topic and great speech. Where you could improve is. Uh, your hands were just so stuck. You did not move at all.
Yeah, I do have a habit of moving it a lot, so I was like trying.
No, so for a good speaker, just let it flow. When you're talking about, when you said something like think about it, if you just use a little hand gesture, you actually you will make us think about it, right? Or even facial expression. I do understand that you're talking to a camera, so you're kind of flat in your speech, so you will kind of lack that vocal variety or facial expression. But if you're so passionate about something, it should just come on your face. It should show in your eyes. So that was lacking. Just imagine when you're talking to a camera, think that there are 10 people watching you, and then that'll make you a better. You keep practicing, and it'll help you in trying what you're trying to convey just with hand gestures. If I just put my hand like this, somehow it goes flat, a speech, right? But yes, overall I really liked your speech. Great topic, great delivery, and well constructed speech. And I agree with you that women should be allowed to make the decision in their reproductive health decisions. Thank you so much, Dikta, and all the best.
Thank you.
Swastika ji.
Hi, Dikta. Thank you for that. I think that was a really important topic, and it was sort of the risk that you took was very admirable. Like, most of the time when we talk about women's right, we talk about the right to delay, to prioritize, careers, and so it was very. I think it was very smart of you to redefine choice. Choice means that me as a woman should also have a choice to have a child early, or have the choice to delay. You know, it's a package, right? So I think it was really, you took that risk to go against the current and not just be about, hey, women and need to be with men, but really understand our bodies, that, you know, yes, we are no less competent than men, but there are certain ways in our biology works, and we have to be aware that that is also a choice that we have. I see a lot of women who are very, very traumatized because there's so much pressure about being successful in careers, you know, and being there as equally as men and being successful. And even when they want a child, and even when they, you know, feel like this urge to have a family, they delay it because of that social pressure, you know, to sort of be as successful as men, because you were raised as a son, not as a daughter, you know. So a lot of women actually go through that, and having to, you know, you want to be with your child, but then you feel that sort of like pressure to then run around the career. So thank you for bringing that up. And I think it's important to be, for women to be really, really aware that a choice is a choice, and it goes either way. You know, you can't make choicelessness of, you know, pursuing a career your choice, you know. So I think that that was a really important topic. I think everything else Seemaji has already talked about in terms of gesture and all, but I think overall just the risk that you took, and I loved how you took a pause to admit and say that yes, your career is important, because, you know, I think as a good sort of like a debater, or a somebody who's giving a speech, or somebody who's making an argument, it's always important to address how do other people think and what is that other people believe, and you acknowledge that and say that yes, what you believe is also true, but here's the other side of truth that is also there, and make sure you're informed about both. So I think that was a really good technique to sort of take a pause and acknowledge the other belief, you know, the other truth that people actually believe in. So very well done, very intelligibly sort of crafted. So thank you.
Thank you so much, both our judges and Dikta. Thank you for your presentation, and I will see you in a while. Good luck.
Thank you.
Now next we have contestant number 1077, Pratishtha Raut. Swastika ji?
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
All right.
I was punching in the numbers. That's why I'm like,
I'm just checking up on you. All right, Pratishtha. Welcome to Task.
I didn't realize I was muted.
Welcome to Task 2, Pratishtha.
Hi, thank you.
Anything that you would like to say before we look at your video?
Yeah, this topic is very dear to me, and it is something that I went through, and I tend to talk to everyone at least once when I meet them, because I feel like the more people know about this and the more basic understanding, the merrier, especially to remove this social taboo that this topic brings. So hopefully you like it.
All right, let's have a look at her video.
Hi, I'm Pratishtha Raut, and today I'd like to talk to you all about depression. Let's start off with myths about depression. Myth number 1, depression is a choice. No, it's not. Myth number 2, there must be a reason to be depressed. No, a lot of the times it is invisible. Myth number 3, depression only affects women. No, it doesn't. It tends to affect men as well, but women tend to express it more because of the society that we live in. These are only some of the myths. There are so much more. For me, an ideal world would be where people going through depression get treated better, and everyone has a basic understanding of mental health. I started working towards this change by raising funds for mental health organizations who help with therapies, raising awareness, and emergency helplines. Along with that, I tend to raise awareness with every platform that I get provided, and my goal is to create a mental health foundation so that I can create my own platform to raise more awareness for our better future. Thank you for listening.
That was really lovely. And you're very calm and composed while delivering your speech. I really like that fact.
Thank you.
Okay, Let's hear from our judges. Let's start with Seema ji.
Hi, Pratishtha.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. What a beautiful speech.
Thank you.
I liked how the entire speech was constructed. The way you started with the myths, and you countered the myths by saying, no, that's not true. And then you gave a little bit of background. And in this 1 minute, you were able to give us so much information. You gave us 3 myths, and then then you spoke about your action, what you are doing, how you speak about any platform you get. You want to raise awareness. You're not just raising awareness, you're raising funds. You're already working towards it. So brilliantly done. Just that the ending could have been a little more powerful. It could have had some more something that, like, okay, this is what we gotta do, like an inspiring speaker or a motivation speaker would have. You need that power in your voice or in your action or in your body language or in your eyes and your facial expressions. Secondly, the sound quality of this video wasn't so good, so I'm not so sure that maybe you could have attempted it again, right, to make sure that the sound quality is good. But overall, I really enjoyed your speech. It was really nice. It was almost like a perfect speech, where how you could have you were calm, composed all throughout. All the best to you, and congratulations. Really nice, really good speaker, I would say.
Thank you. At the end, I panicked because the 1 minute was over so quickly. I was like, ah, whoa. I was like, okay.
Swastika ji?
Yeah.
Hi, Pratishtha. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's spelled a little differently, but Pratishtha, right?
Yeah, that's perfectly spelled. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You're pronouncing it very well than majority of the people here.
I loved listening to that. I think, just the way you dealt with the myth and everything, I think I would like 100% there, 100% listening to you. I think that voice is something really, really, if you use it right, you can actually just draw, it is about something that's deep, and your voice is deep. And therefore I'm pulled into that depth because I have to now pay attention by just how you're speaking from your chest. And, so I'm just like, what is she saying? Kind of just like, that worked really amazingly. I mean, I don't know if you kind of like crafted it that way or you just generally speak like that, but I think the topic you chose and how you spoke about it, I kind of felt really drawn into it. Now, there's one thing that I think I want to share I think that would help as you sort of like go along these different sort of your journey to Miss Universe. Personal stories, when you decide to share a part of your personal story, it's really, really hard, because it's personal, and you are afraid that you're going to break down at any point, or you don't want to share something that's too private. And that is something, it's a dilemma that people who choose to bring their personal life into their speech have to go through. It's a hard choice that you make. Do you want to talk about it? Do you not want to talk about it? How much do you want to open? But there's a danger in telling the whole world about everything, right? But there's also a danger in trying to pick up a speech, trying to focus on your self-experience and not saying much. Okay? It's like, I've been in depression. That's one thing. This is something that I've suffered. But I missed, like, how does that myth actually play into your own experience? Okay? So those are myths. And of course, you picked out those 3 myths out of all the other myths because they were somehow important to you. And I'm guessing because that was what you faced, like I've been through this phase where people are just like, get out of it. Hey, just get out, Yeah. So how did that myth sort of connect with your own life and your story? If you don't share enough, it feels incomplete and it doesn't have the kind of power that it would have otherwise had. And of course, you want to be protective and you want to decide how much you want to share and how much it is safe. But when you decide to share your story, then you put yourself into a space of saying, I am going to open up, and I am. So there, you have to find that balance. And I think in this particular speech, you were a little bit scared to just open up, right? To share a little more of making yourself a little more vulnerable. You don't want to be like too vulnerable, but there's a danger of like starting a speech where you're not willing to be vulnerable, but you still decide to talk about your pain and make the speech personal. You know? So just I think finding that right balance when you talk about this is really important.
When I do talk about this, I do tend to share my experience, what I went through, because obviously I wouldn't want anyone to go through what I went through. So, but because it was a minute, for me, once I get into this topic, I get so into it that it goes way over 5 minutes, because I start talking about my experience and how it all overlaps. Hence why I tried to kind of take mine out a little bit for this 1 minute. But I do tend to talk about it. There are previous videos where I do talk about my experience and why this topic means so much to me. So yeah, I do understand where you're coming from. Thank you so much for your feedback.
And I think that's the whole challenge, is the 1 minute, right? So you want
yes.
to, you know, get your 5-minute speech and now squeeze it. You know, the idea of making it 1 minute is not about leaving the other elements. It's about squeezing 5 minutes. So it has all the elements that would be there in that 5-minute speech, but then shrinking it into one. So don't leave out important stuff that you talk about in 5 minutes. Just squeeze it. But you have to address everything that you would address in a 5 minute, if that makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's compressed, it's not chopped and some part of it sort of left away. So kind of do this, not like.
Yeah, I'll work on it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pratishtha. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Speak to you soon.
Now, finally, we're at the end of batch 4. We have one more contestant left. Let's have contestant number 1079, ANIELA LAMA. Hello, ANIELA. Namaste. Unmute गर्नुहोस् तपाईको mic.
Hello, ma'am. Namaste.
Namaste. So before we start the video, के भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ?
Ma'am, it was a bit overwhelming picking up the topic, because I think this is a platform where we can speak just about anything. I've put in the effort, but I think there's always room for more improvement, and I cannot wait to hear what the judges have to say about my video, and also some feedback from you as well.
Sure. Now let's have a look at the video.
When I decided to be a part of Miss Universe Nepal 2020, there were two things that backed up my decision. Number one, my wish to be a part of this amazing platform that is inclusive of all beauty standards, shapes, and sizes. And number two, I was able to support my decision through financial means. Being financially independent made it easier for me to take the decision to be a part of something that I always hoped to be a part of. True empowerment is possible when a woman is able to go after what she wants in her life without any barriers placed upon her. Financial independency helps a woman take that first step towards her aspirations, her own decision to be what she wants to be in her life. It is high time that women in the nooks and corners of our country and all over the world have the opportunity that I had, that they are financially independent and empowered through access to education, equality, and freedom.
I really like the fact that the video was very calm and there was a lot of clarity in what you were saying. I could really, you know, like understand very clearly what you were trying to say out there. So for me, I really loved the video. Now let's hear from our judges. Swastika ji, let's start from you.
Hi, ANIELA. Again, thank you for putting all that work into creating that video, the work that you put into it to think about it and not taking it lightly. The fact that you struggled to find a topic means that, you know, you were really taking this seriously and wanted to talk about something really, really important. Just loved your sort of like that calmness and that, you know, really, really the way you sort of presented yourself as very strong and stable. I think that was really something that caught me. In terms of topic, yeah, I think I know it's very hard to sort of pick a topic. So I think what you did was really general, and you ran through so many different topics where I felt like, I'm like, which one? And I think the way to pick a topic is look into your heart. What is more, what are you passionate about? What hurts? What makes you sad? What makes you very, very happy? What makes you, gives certain sort of like, it triggers your emotions. You really have to look into yourself and be like, what is personally meaningful to you? I know it doesn't matter what the world wants to hear, what the world thinks is important. You're not trying to pick a topic for somebody else, right? It's just like, what do I want to talk about that has a personal meaning to me? And what is something that even when you're writing your speech, you're learning a little bit about yourself, about your past, about your life. And even in the process of constructing a speech, something within you is changing, and you're learning in that process. So I think you were right about where you struggled, and you did struggle there to find like a topic that was really close to your heart, and just speak about it and go to the depth of it. The surface border thing, it felt like it was a lot of headlines, but it missed the article. The depth of it, to pick up one point and go deep into it. So I'm sure this has been an interesting learning process for you. We're all learning and growing. So I hope this is what the contest actually allows you that space to learn and explore. And so yeah, all the best moving ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. And I ended up choosing this topic because I felt like I could relate to it. And I was wondering how many girls must be out there who really wanted to participate in this, but because of, their financial matters, they were not able to do so. So that is why I landed on this topic. But yes, definitely, all the feedback that you've given, I will definitely implement them later. Thank you so much.
Moving on to Seema ji.
Hi, ANIELA.
Hello, ma'am.
It was really nice to hear your speech. It was wonderful. You are a great speaker. What I liked about your speech is the topic, financial independence. You're not just saying it for the sake of, but you're doing it. You are setting examples, which is amazing, because a lot of girls we are dependent, even at a young age or even at this age, you're dependent either on your parents or your husband or on people financially. So here you are setting examples. You're very confident. Obviously, with this kind of an independence, you also get confidence. It's kind of related. They go hand in hand, which is amazing. And that showed in your speech. What you could have done to make it even more powerful is, one, you could have spoken more about yourself. You give a small example. Okay, you're financially independent, and you sponsored, you kind of, because of that, you were able to participate in this pageant. You could have gotten more into depth. That 1 minute is more about you. This is about you. So make it about you instead of just telling us what we should do, because we know already that how important it is to be financially independent. But what are you doing? So you could have made it your story. Just added a little more about you, because that is something nobody can take it away from you. And I cannot say that, no, this is not true, or because that's your story. So it's always better to stick to your story. I know you are supposed to leave everybody with a message, which you did. Wonderfully done. Secondly, your hands were it was just like as if you're in school and, reciting a poem or a story. Just relax. It's okay. It's okay to fumble. People relate to, even in the comedy world, I've realized that people relate to mistakes more than perfection. So it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fumble. And even if your hands are moving too much, but at least it'll allow you to flow. You'll be able to speak better. So just remember these few tips. But all in all, a great speech, and congratulations. All the best to you, ANIELA.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Looks like you've done a good job, ANIELA. Now we are done with this group. So let's have all the contestants on screen. One more time, a huge congratulations to all of you for completing task 2, ladies.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been vocal about your advocacies, what you really wanted to express, and our judges have given you constructive criticisms and advice. I hope you take those advices and improvise in your another task. Tomorrow we have task 3. It's a little different from the other tasks because this time we will have judges with whom you will have a one-on-one interaction Q&A session. So please be prepared. Rest गर्नुहोस् आज अब सकिसकेको छ आजको task हैन. So fuel yourself up for tomorrow, and yeah, wish you all the best. So far you've done us proud. Tomorrow make us prouder.
Thank you, ma'am.